The Pawn Stars empire, once a shining beacon of success in Las Vegas, now stands at the center of a shocking investigation that has left fans and authorities alike stunned. What began as a routine renovation at the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop quickly transformed into something far more sinister when contractors made a discovery that would change everything. In my 30 years with the Bureau, I've never seen anything quite like this. When we removed that floor, nobody was prepared for what we found underneath. Since 2009, Rick Harrison, his sharp-witted son Corey Big Hoss Harrison, and their lovable childhood friend Austin Chumley Russell transformed a modest family-owned pawn business into an entertainment empire. Their groundbreaking reality show Pawn Stars quickly shattered records to become the History Channel's highest-rated program ever, attracting over 7 million viewers during its peak episodes. What began as a small 24-hour pawn operation off the Las Vegas Strip evolved into a cultural phenomenon, with fans across 150 countries tuning in to watch the Harrisons haggle, educate, and occasionally bicker over historical treasures. The once obscure gold and silver pawn shop metamorphosed into one of Las Vegas's most visited attractions, drawing longer lines than many casino attractions and forever changing how Americans viewed the pawn industry. Their expert knowledge of history and memorabilia, combined with authentic family dynamics, created television magic that competitors tried and failed to replicate for years. The Gold and Silver Pawn Shop isn't just a store, it's one of the most recognizable destinations in Las Vegas. Before the pandemic, they were seeing upwards of 5,000 visitors a day. People from around the world would line up just to catch a glimpse of Rick or Chumley. The Harrison family leveraged their newfound fame into a business empire, expanding into restaurants, bars, and merchandise. Richard Old Man Harrison, who founded the shop with his son Rick in 1989, lived to see his small pawn business become an American success story before his passing in 2018. In January 2025, what started as simple renovations at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop quickly raised alarm bells when contractors noticed something unusual beneath the shop's decades-old flooring. Contractor in an interview: "We were just replacing some water-damaged floorboards in the back office area when we noticed the subfloor didn't match building plans. There was this small section that seemed different, hollow in spots where it shouldn't be." The contractors immediately contacted Rick Harrison, who allegedly became visibly distressed upon seeing what they had uncovered. Rick took one look at what they found and just went pale. He asked everyone to leave immediately and close the shop. That's when people started wondering what was really going on. 3 days after the contractor's unsettling discovery, a convoy of unmarked vehicles descended on Las Vegas Boulevard. The Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, normally bustling with tourists, had hastily closed with a simple sign reading, "Temporarily closed for renovations." We can confirm that the FBI is conducting an investigation at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. Due to the sensitive nature of this ongoing case, we cannot provide additional details at this time. Sources close to the investigation revealed that federal authorities had been tracking missing artifacts for years, a trail that inexplicably led to the floor beneath the world-famous pawn shop. For 14 days, we worked around the clock, meticulously removing layers of flooring. Carbon dating revealed these hidden chambers were constructed in the early 1970s, nearly 2 decades before the Harrison family purchased the building. What they uncovered left even veteran investigators speechless. Inside was a carefully cataloged collection of extremely valuable historical items: Civil War-era weapons with authentic military markings, Native American ceremonial objects from protected burial sites, and several pieces that match descriptions of items stolen from museums across 5 states. Most disturbing were the detailed ledgers found alongside these treasures, handwritten records spanning 5 decades, documenting acquisition dates, original owners, and falsified provenance information. The most shocking revelation: several of these illegally obtained artifacts had actually appeared on episodes of Pawn Stars, hiding in plain sight on national television. The records showed activity dating to the 1970s, but continued well into the modern era, raising troubling questions about who knew what was beneath their feet all along. The discovery beneath the pawn shop floor triggered a series of raids across Las Vegas, including several storage facilities registered to shell companies with tentative connections to former employees of the pawn shop. This investigation has potentially exposed a sophisticated network for trafficking historically significant items. The question now is whether the Harrisons were knowing participants or unwitting custodians of a criminal enterprise that predated their ownership. Rick Harrison has maintained his innocence, claiming through his attorneys that the hidden room and its contents were completely unknown to him and his family. The Harrison family is fully cooperating with authorities. They purchased this building over 30 years ago and had no knowledge of any hidden spaces or illegally obtained items. They are as shocked as anyone by these discoveries. Experts from the Smithsonian and several prominent museums have been called in to authenticate and catalog the recovered items, some of which may hold extraordinary historical significance. Among the recovered artifacts are items we believed were lost to history, including ceremonial objects that rightfully belong to several Native American tribes and documents signed by Abraham Lincoln. The historical value is incalculable. What makes this case particularly intriguing is that the hidden room appears to have been constructed in the 1950s, when the building housed a completely different business. This suggests the trafficking network has operated across multiple owners and decades. As the investigation continues, production of Pawn Stars has been suspended indefinitely, and the future of the Harrison family empire remains uncertain. We're watching one of cable television's greatest success stories potentially unravel in real time. Regardless of whether the Harrisons were involved or not, the brand has suffered a blow that will be difficult to recover from. We came all the way from Australia to see the shop. It's disappointing, but honestly, it makes for an even better story to tell when we get home. Perhaps most poignant is how this discovery might tarnish the legacy of Richard Old Man Harrison, whose knowledge of history and commitment to authenticity formed the foundation of the family business. The old man built his reputation on knowing the real from the fake. If these items were hiding literally beneath his feet all those years, it raises uncomfortable questions about what else might have been hidden in plain sight. This investigation is ongoing and complex. We are following multiple leads concerning how these items came to be hidden beneath the shop and who was responsible for concealing them there. As FBI agents continue their meticulous work, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Beneath the gleaming success of America's most famous pawn shop lay secrets that, once unearthed, may forever change how we view this modern American success story.
Praying for you. Yep. I go in tomorrow. My cancer is not bone-related, it's blood-related.
Mark Hoppus has shared a story that left fans speechless. The Blink-182 bassist and co-frontman revealed the painful truth behind his battle with cancer. What he called the darkest time of his life is now coming to light. In June 2021, Hoppus shocked fans with his diagnosis, announcing it on social media. He opened up about the emotional and physical toll it took. As the only member who's been there through every version of the band, his strength has inspired many. "I didn't know if I was going to live or die," Hoppus confessed in a recent interview, providing a raw glimpse into the fear and uncertainty that consumed him during those initial months. The bassist revealed that he had been diagnosed with diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, stage 4A, an advanced form of cancer that had already spread to multiple parts of his body by the time it was discovered. What made the diagnosis particularly chilling was that it was the same type of cancer his mother had previously battled and defeated. As Hoppus underwent what he described as grueling rounds of chemotherapy, he kept fans updated on his progress through social media. In July 2021, he offered a glimmer of hope, sharing that the treatment appeared to be working. "I'm so grateful and confused and also sick from last week's chemo," he wrote. "But the poison the doctors pump into me and the kind thoughts and wishes of people around me are destroying this cancer."
I barely remember the next 24 hours from the moment that I got the call. I was walking into my therapist for the first time. I was in a dark place. We were coming out of COVID. The world was weird. Like everything was polarized and people were fighting. And there was like, it just felt, the world felt like it'd been knocked off kilter, and I felt really off.
The treatments left Hoppus physically devastated, with the musician losing his hair and dropping significant weight as the chemotherapy ravaged both the cancer cells and his healthy tissue. During this period, he revealed that there were days when he could barely get out of bed, with even the simplest tasks becoming monumental challenges. "There were moments when I thought I wouldn't make it to see another Blink-182 show, let alone perform in one, Hoppus admitted.
A therapist for the first time, and as I'm walking in, my phone rings, and I'm like, oh, hang on, this is from a healthcare. And so I answer it, and it's my oncologist who had just done all the tests. You have cancer. It's going to be chemotherapy. Cancel the next 6 months of your life. We're gonna beat this, but yeah, you have.
What few people knew at the time was that beyond the physical toll, Hoppus was fighting an equally difficult battle with his mental health. The bassist disclosed that he experienced profound depression during his treatment, with thoughts so dark that he questioned whether he had the strength to continue fighting. When you're facing your own mortality like that, everything you thought you knew about yourself gets called into question, he shared. There were nights I laid awake wondering if I'd see another morning. The darkest moment came during a particularly aggressive round of treatment when his body's response to the chemotherapy was so severe that doctors considered pausing the therapy, a potentially life-threatening decision given the aggressive nature of his cancer. I remember sitting in that hospital room, looking out the window and thinking this might be it, Hoppus recalled. I was trying to come to terms with the idea that I might not get to see my son grow up or grow old with my wife. Throughout this ordeal, Hoppus found strength in his family. His wife, Sky Everly, whom he met during a Blink-182 video shoot for All the Small Things and married in 2000, remained by his side, offering support even as uncertainty loomed. His son, Jack, also became a pillar of strength, with Hoppus crediting their relationship for giving him the determination to fight when his own resolve faltered.
Occasionally wearing clothes, Blink's 182's Mark Hoppus became a fan favorite for putting genuine emotions into his buoyant songs. Now in his candid memoir, Mark has deep feelings to share, like about the time he thought a lifetime of good fortune had come to an end.
We played our own instruments, we wrote our own songs, for better or worse. We were just ourselves.
And that's about the time she walked away.
Fellow bandmates Travis Barker and Tom DeLonge, despite their complicated history, also rallied around Hoppus during his treatment. DeLonge, who had rejoined the band after years of separation, publicly expressed support for his longtime friend and musical partner. The way Tom and Travis showed up for me during that time healed more than just the cancer, Hoppus revealed, suggesting that his illness had helped repair some of the rifts that had previously divided the band. On September 29, 2021, after months of uncertainty and aggressive treatment, Hoppus was finally able to share the news fans had been praying for. He was cancer-free. The announcement came with a mixture of relief, gratitude, and lingering trauma from the experience. Just hearing the words cancer-free from my doctor, I can't even describe that moment, Hoppus said. It was like being given a second chance at life.
That I couldn't carry oxygen, so I would walk up the stairs from my studio here and be completely out of breath. Oh, I feel incredibly lucky to be alive. I feel like of all the cancers to get, I got one that's...
The bassist's return to performing with Blink-182 took on new meaning following his recovery. Songs that had once been about teenage angst and relationship troubles were now performed by a man who had stared death in the face and survived. Every show feels like a gift now, Hoppus explained. I don't take a single moment on stage for granted anymore. Looking back on his battle with cancer, Mark Hoppus has gained a deeper perspective on his punk rock journey. Once a self-taught musician with plans to become an English teacher, his path changed with Blink-182's rise. Now, he sees things differently. When you almost lose everything, you realize what matters. It's not the fame or awards, it's the people you love and the connections you make. Despite the trauma of his cancer battle, Hoppus has emerged with a newfound perspective that has influenced both his personal outlook and his music. Blink-182's recent work has taken on deeper themes, with Hoppus bringing his experience with mortality into his songwriting in ways that have resonated powerfully with fans who have followed the band since their toilet humor days in the 90s. For a musician whose career has spanned decades, from forming Blink-182 in 1992 after meeting Tom DeLonge through his sister's boyfriend, to side projects like Plus 44 and Simple Creatures to producing for bands like New Found Glory and Motion City Soundtrack, facing cancer became the unexpected chapter that redefined everything that came before and after. I've been through divorce in my family, I've been through band breakups, I've dealt with fame and business failures and all kinds of challenges, Hoppus reflected. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to hearing a doctor tell you that you might die. That changes you forever, in ways I'm still trying to understand. Now back on tour with the reunited classic Blink-182 lineup, Hoppus appears healthier and more energized than ever. Though the psychological scars of his cancer battle remain, he's become more outspoken about the importance of regular medical checkups and has used his platform to raise awareness about cancer detection and treatment. Mark Hoppus's journey through cancer and back to the stage is a powerful reminder of resilience. It adds new depth to Blink-182's legacy, highlighting not just their music, but their humanity. His story echoes the strength shown by other artists who faced life-threatening battles.
As a middle-aged womanizer whose life is in neutral, he is sent an anonymous letter informing him he has a 19-year-old son.
Legendary actor and comedian Bill Murray has just opened up about one of his biggest regrets in his storied career, turning down a chance to work with Hollywood icon Clint Eastwood in the 1980s. In a candid interview on The Howard Stern Show, the 74-year-old Ghostbusters star delivered a powerful message of remorse that reveals a rare glimpse into the road not taken for one of America's most beloved actors. When I see him, I'm like, "I'm sorry, I wish I'd done that, Clint. I'm really sorry," Murray confessed during the emotional interview. This apology relates to a decision made over 40 years ago when Murray, after the success of Stripes in 1981, got a surprising call from Eastwood with an offer to work together on a Navy-themed project.
And I said, well, God, I guess maybe I shouldn't. But it's one of the few regrets I have, is that I didn't do it because it was a big scale thing. And I would have gotten I don't know if I'd have gotten a great Destiny. It was more of a comedy, that one. But he had access to like the last of all these World War II boats, and he could have like made a flotilla and stuff. And there was some cool stuff in it. And when I see him, I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what, I wish I'd done that, Clint. I'm really sorry. He's certainly well over it.
The original connection between the two cinema legends began when Murray, impressed by Eastwood's films like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, made a bold move that many actors would never dare attempt.
A long time ago, I was watching the Clint Eastwood movies of the day, like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot or whatever the hell the movies he was making then. I was just a sort of up-and-coming guy, and I went, man, his sidekick gets killed, and he avenges. But the sidekick gets like a great part, a great death scene. I was like, I got to call this guy. So I called him out of the blue.
What followed was an unexpected opportunity that Murray ultimately declined, a decision he now counts among his few career regrets. When Eastwood asked if Murray would consider doing another service comedy, the SNL alum hesitated, concerned about being typecast after his success in Stripes.
Geez, when I become like Abbott and Costello, I had to do like military movies. And I said, well, God, I guess maybe I shouldn't.
Revealing the thought process that led to his fateful decision. The film in question is widely believed to be Heartbreak Ridge, the 1986 war drama that Eastwood both directed and starred in, playing the gruff Marine gunnery Sergeant Tom Highway. While the movie still went on to become a success without Murray, the Groundhog Day star now recognizes what a spectacular missed opportunity it represented.
1, 2, 2.5.
It's one of the few regrets I have, is that I didn't do it because it was a big scale thing. And I would have gotten I don't know if I'd have gotten a great Destiny. It was more of a comedy, that one. But he had access to like the last of all these World War II boats, and he could have like made a flotilla and stuff. And there was some cool stuff in it.
Murray's confession is poignant because it comes from an actor whose career has been defined by an unorthodox approach to Hollywood. Known for not having an agent or manager and famously difficult to reach, he maintains only a personal voicemail box that he checks infrequently. Murray has built a reputation for being selective about his roles. This approach has led to both triumphs and missed opportunities. He's previously turned down parts in films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Monsters, Inc., and Little Miss Sunshine comes when both men are established legends. Murray has gone from an SNL comedian to a praised dramatic actor in films like Lost in Translation and Broken Flowers, while Eastwood, now 94, recently released his 40th film, Juror No. 2. Their nearly collaboration is a fascinating what-if in Hollywood history. Two artists with very different styles almost joining forces at the peak of their careers. Despite Murray's regret, he notes that Eastwood has long since moved past any disappointment over the missed opportunity. "He's certainly well over it. He's a very resilient fella," Murray noted, acknowledging the director's legendary toughness and longevity in the industry. This comment underscores the respect Murray clearly holds for Eastwood, making his public apology all the more meaningful. The interview also revealed another interesting piece of Hollywood history when Stern pointed out that Stripes, the very film that inadvertently led to Murray turning down Eastwood, was originally written for comedy duo Cheech and Chong. "They could have had fun with it. There were lots of stoner scenes in it," Murray acknowledged. Instead, with Ivan Reitman directing and Murray starring alongside John Candy, the film became the fifth highest-grossing release of 1981, further cementing Murray's status as a comedy superstar. Murray's candid admission offers a fascinating look at the behind-the-scenes decisions that shape Hollywood careers and the genuine emotional weight that can accompany professional choices decades later. For a man who has built a career on his seemingly carefree, detached persona, this moment of vulnerability and regret provides a compelling contrast to his public image.